This is the WJTS News. In tonight's news, Jasper schools plan a special meeting about the naming of the new elementary school. A Sunday arrest for forgery and obstruction leads to the arrest of a Jasper man. And Honeyburg Mayor Denny Spinner talks about another great year for the city. Also, Kurt Guxell has results from sports this past weekend. Plus, WJTS Inform features Jasper Assistant Superintendent Todd Hitchcock discussing testing in schools. Hello, I'm Bill Potter, and this is the news on WJTS. Public concerns in regards to the recent naming of a new, soon-to-be-built elementary school has prompted the Greater Jasper Consolidated School Board to schedule a special meeting to discuss the decision. The meeting will take place in the community room located on the south side of Jasper High School tomorrow evening. That's Tuesday. It will begin at 7 p.m. Last week, board members decided to name the school Wilson Elementary after George and Margaret Wilson following a presentation from local historians Junie Himsel and Joe Roletter. Greater Jasper Superintendent Dr. Tracy Lori says the Wilson siblings were founding educators in the community and were instrumental in establishing what education not only looks like in Jasper, but all of Dubois County. Lori says naming the new school after the Wilsons would only be appropriate to honor those who value education and how it is shaped today and in the future. The decision met with widespread criticism on Facebook. Most posters were preferring Jasper Elementary. That was followed by a letter to the superintendent and board from Fifth Street Parent-Teacher Organization President Brehan Leinenbach, also disagreeing with the decision. The new school will be located just north of Jasper Middle School along Portersville Road on Jasper's north side and will consolidate the aging 10th Street and 5th Street elementary schools. School officials hope the new elementary school will be completed and ready for students by the 2019-2020 school year. An early Sunday morning traffic stop in Honeyburg ended with the arrest of a Jasper man on a pair of charges. Around 12:30 a.m. Sunday, an officer with the Honeyburg Police Department pulled over a van for speeding. Police say during the stop they were unable to get a return on the driver, who would eventually be identified as 25-year-old Joshua Santos of Jasper. During the investigation, police determined that original information provided by Santos was false and that he initially refused to give up his real name. He was taken to the Dubois County Security Center in Jasper, where the investigation continued, and after some time, police were able to confirm Santos was his real name. Santos was booked into the security center on a level 6 felony count of forgery and obstruction. Police say the charge was enhanced to felony status because of the lengthy time that was spent on the investigation. He was also charged with a Class A misdemeanor count of false identity statement. A Jasper man was treated for unknown injuries late Sunday night when he lost control of his SUV in a curve and crashed along Highway 231 north of Jasper. Around 11 p.m., deputies with the Dubois County Sheriff's Department were called to the area of U.S. Highway 231 north of County Road 500 North, where authorities say 44-year-old Christopher Manning of Jasper was traveling south along 231, approaching a curve in the roadway. Manning told deputies that as he entered the curve, his SUV lost traction and began to spin. Manning says he tried to correct the vehicle. However, he drove off the west side of the roadway and into a ditch, striking an embankment before the SUV came to a rest facing south in the ditch. Deputies say Manning was out of his vehicle before they arrived. He was treated at the scene before being transported to Memorial Hospital for further treatment of unknown injuries. His SUV was a total loss, and there was no report of any charges being filed. Deputies were assisted at the scene by the Memorial Hospital Emergency Medical Services and first responders from the Hayesville Volunteer Fire Department. A report of smoke in a Honeyburg residence Sunday afternoon caused some smoldering items placed near a light fixture, prompted a call to the Honeyburg volunteer firefighters. Around 3:15 yesterday afternoon, crews with the Honeyburg Volunteer Fire Department were called to the report of smoke in a home occupied by Allison and Michael Bauer, located along the 1300 block of Jacob Court in Honeyburg. Department spokesman John Smith says units first on the scene discovered an odor of smoke and a haze in the home. Smith says the residents felt the smoke was coming from the furnace area. He says, however, their investigation found that a stack of washcloths and towels had been placed in close proximity against a light fixture, which caused them to burn. Smith says firefighters removed the burning items to the front yard, where they were extinguished and provided ventilation to the home. 3 trucks along with 16 firefighters were on the scene for about 30 minutes. There were no injuries. Smith says damage was minimum. Congratulations goes out to Community Chew and the Dubois County Humane Society. They are today's recipients of a $1,000 grant courtesy of the Dubois County Community Foundation's 12 Days of Giving, a year-end granting blitz to local nonprofits. Child Hunger Ending Workshop, or CHEW, provides meals, fun summer programming, and service project opportunities for food insecure youth in the city of Jasper. The Dubois County Humane Society is a no-kill shelter that cares for homeless animals, operating a spay and neuter program and adoption center for pets. Community Chew and the Dubois County Humane Society are now eligible for a $10,000 grant chosen by the public on Facebook. The public can cast a vote on Tuesday, December 12th from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. for the nonprofit they wish to receive the final $10,000 grant. A total of $22,000 will be granted to local charities during 12 Days of Giving. This year's 12 grant recipients were chosen by last year's grant recipients with the goal of paying it forward. You can learn more by visiting the Community Foundation's Facebook page or by calling Nona Baker at 812-482-5295, 482-5295. Indiana Representative Todd Rokita is attacking Republican Senate primary rival Mike Brown of Jasper over a gas tax hike the former state lawmaker voted for this year. There's just one problem. Rokita previously voiced support for the same kind of tax increase. But that hasn't stopped Rokita's campaign from calling the former District 13 state representative tax hike Mike. Brown supported a Republican plan this year that hiked fees and raised gas taxes by a dime a gallon to pay for infrastructure improvements. Rokita has seized on that vote, but he previously voiced support for a gas tax increase during a 2015 interview with an Indianapolis radio show host. Rokita encouraged state lawmakers to consider the hike during the interview. The primary race is a bitter one, driven largely by a tax launched by Rokita. Brown agrees to a 5-way debate for Indiana Senate. Indiana's 5 Republican candidates for U.S. Senate have agreed to take part in a debate next April in Fort Wayne. Allen County Republican Party Chairman Steve Shine says he's received commitments from each of the announced Republican Senate candidates to participate in a debate-style program. He says a panel of journalists is expected to ask the candidates questions. The April 23rd event during the local party's annual Lincoln Day dinner will come 2 weeks before Indiana's May 8th primary. The 5 candidates include auto parts distributor Mike Brown of Jasper, Kokomo attorney Mark Hurt, U.S. Representatives Luke Messer and Todd Rokita, and New Albany College Administrator Andrew Takami. They are competing for the GOP nomination to run against Democrat U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly in next year's general election. Now stay tuned. Monday with the Mayor featuring Denny Spinner, Mayor of Honeyburg. Weather, sports, and WJTS Inform are still to come.